Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Music Podcast once again. Today, I am honored to have Juan Garcia sitting in with me. Juan Garcia of EvilDead. In the past, Juan has been a member of such classic metal bands as Abbatoir and Agent Steel. He is currently the guitarist for Body Count as well as EvilDead. EvilDead, an LA thrash band, started in 1986. Gone through a few lineup changes and reunions over the years, but Juan and EvilDead are back. They're ready to release their fourth studio record called Toxic Grace. It's amazing. It's on the Steamhammer SPV record label. Comes out this Friday, May 24th. Juan, it's awesome to have you, man.
Hey, man, thank you. This is an honor to be on your show. This is really cool.
Well, thanks so much, man. Uh, you guys, it's great to have you around still, man. 1986, it's been through a lot of changes. Uh, this is you almost got the original lineup here on this
Yeah.
record. It's just as powerful as anything you've ever done. It's amazing. It's just such a great record. It's so classic thrash. What is the writing process? Has it changed? And the band still sounds like it's doing the classic thing. Just a classic sound that you've always had. Has the writing process changed from, that 1986 early on era to
Slightly,
this? Okay, yeah.
slightly,
How's it
yeah.
work for you guys?
Um, on the Annihilation record, we were more all in a room, and throwing ideas left and right, and stuff like that. On the last couple records, the Anarchy and on this new one, Toxic Grace, it the dynamics change a bit. It all starts like with a guitar riff. So, and the great thing about this album, our my partner in all this, Albert Gonzalez, a guitarist, he has an arsenal of riffs constantly. One of those guys that's always writing. So he'll present ideas and to me and Rob, the drummer, and then we work off one. Usually starts with one riff. Everything always starts with one riff. From there we build. So he may have a few riffs all together, and then he'll present it to us. Rob will be instrumental in the drum beats and arrangement. I help him with the arrangements. Then I'll throw in some guitar ideas as well. Once we get a good, formation of ideas, we will present them to our singer. We demo it off, and then we'll go into a garage and present the ideas to our singer, and then he'll work on lyrics. We leave a lot of room for the bass player Carlos Medina to do his stuff over it as well. He may also have some parts and ideas, so it's kind of a collaboration.
Yeah.
But I props to Albert for bringing forth some amazing ideas and killer guitar riffs. It's all about the riff, man. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
So
sounds
that's
like it,
kind
man.
of how we've been doing, and it's been working really well. Same lineup for the last two records, like you said, Anarchy and Toxic Grace. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, man, it really, really is. It's exciting to hear. Like I say, it's just in that vein, man. It locks in and it doesn't let go. It's captivating, man. Um, what's the biggest difference from the music in those early albums to this Toxic Grace record? Was there anything specific that you wanted to change and any intentions with this album?
Well, we're like the main thing is we don't deviate too much. Is that we're an underground thrash metal band. We always keep that in mind. The first record for sure was a little more chaotic. We were younger, so we went inside the Music Grinder studios. We just went for it. Full blast, speed. We didn't pay so much attention to the tempos. On this record, we really zoned in on the tempos and made sure all the parts kind of flowed together really well. I think that's the most important thing that we nowadays for us that we didn't pay so much attention to back then. Um, but we still have a lot of fast parts, like the song "Fear Porn" on the record is
Yeah.
moving to his reverie. Faffle is as heavy as hell. Stupid on parade. There's a lot of moments where it's chaotic and cool. It just kind of under control, not as crazy, but yeah, that's probably the biggest difference between back then and now. You're talking about a big gap in time, right?
Yeah, right.
I guess
Oh,
we've grown up a little bit. That's all.
yeah, but I mean, it's not, but it's not over polished by any sense of, I mean, like you say, I mean, it comes at you full force. It grabs you by the throat, man. It is well thought out for sure. Like you said, it's really precise. It seems like it's done by guys that have been doing it a very long time, and it is. So,
For sure. I mean, I also want to give a lot of props to. We work with two producers on this record.
mm,
We started with Rob Hill here in Los Angeles, and also a second producer and engineer, Dave Casey. So it was good working with two different producers, and it gave us a different perspective on everything. It wasn't by design. The original idea was to work with one producer, but it's kind of the way that it worked out, and we're very happy with the overall sound of the record.
okay, yeah, and I noticed that. These guys are, I mean, Rob Hill, he's Corn and Cypress Hill and Jackson Brown. He's all over the spectrum. He knows what he's doing. He's a professional.
Right.
Uh,
Absolutely. It's a great guy.
Unbelievable. You had Bill Matoyer on the third record, United States
Yeah,
of Anarchy, a classic metal guy,
for
producer
sure.
for the most part. I see he's credited with some additional engineering here. Did he
Yes.
have input on this record?
Yes, what it was, we started with Rob Hill, then we took a break and went to Europe and toured in the middle of the whole recording, and when we got back, uh, we were working with Dave Casey on five other songs, and in between the sessions, we did some stuff with Bill, uh, extra guitar layering, and also some vocals, backup vocals with him. So he had a little bit of input on additional engineering credits, but the majority of the record was done by Rob Hill, produced and engineering, and also Dave Casey producing and engineering and mixing the record. So yeah, Bill had his. We worked with Bill a little bit, but it was mainly Rob Hill and Dave Casey.
Yeah, man. These are names that are going to give you some good sound. You know,
Sure.
great guys, man. Good guys to have in your corner behind it.
Oh, absolutely. We're very grateful for that.
Yeah, that
Be
is
able to
way
complete
cool.
this, and it's an honor to get this record out to everyone this Friday.
Yeah, man, it's great. Now, Subjugated Souls, the latest single, you got a video with it. It's about Generation Z's obsession with, the digital world and, social media and all that. One thing I noticed that sets Evil Dead apart a lot of times from the thrash grouping, all these songs have very clear vocals and easily understandable lyrics. Even when it gets loud and raucous and, there's a little bit of scream there, I can still understand Phil. I mean, it's been like that since the beginning. Is that a Phil thing? Is that something you work on to be able to understand these lyrics like that? Because sometimes, I mean, I listen to a Slayer record and, I don't know what the hell Tom's saying, man, half the time, you know what I mean? I can figure it out and I look, but
Yeah.
here it's very evident. You can hear every word. Is that something you work on?
I think it's a Phil thing, but when he records his vocals, he doesn't like a lot of people in the room. But he likes to work with the engineer or the producer and maybe one other band member. So my duty, if I'm in there when he's doing vocals, is to pay attention to his enunciations of the words. So I pay attention to the enunciations to make sure they're clear. But it's more of a Phil thing. We don't like
Yeah.
tell him got to pronounce every word perfect. I think that's just the way he is. That's his nature.
And it kind of defines the Evil Dead. So it's one of those things that defines the Evil Dead sound. Uh,
Sure, sure.
thrash it can get noisy, and you can lose a lot
Sure.
of vocal thing lyrically. But I never lose it with Evil Dead, man. Phil is just, he's very clear with what he has to say.
Yeah, he's very clear with his pronouncing of words and also his vision of the lyrics. Sometimes he gets really detailed about how he wants, the story to go. But sometimes it's too many lyrics, so I gotta remind him, hey man, I get it, but we gotta cut some words out to fit. So, but I think that's just a singer thing. So yeah, it's a progress and I should say it's a process and just very happy with the overall sound of all the songs.
Yeah, man, it's great. So, like I say, really traditional in the Evil Dead world. You stay within the universe for sure. Tell me about the bonus track, the Death and Resurrection Show 2024. I did not get this on the advance, so I haven't heard it. Now I hear it's a tribute to Killing Joke guitarist Kevin Jordy Walker.
Yes. We wanted to do a bonus track, like the last record we're kind of weird, man. I'll be honest. It's the last record we did, of all bands, B-52s, Planet Claire. We like to have fun. One thing about us is you gotta have fun with this stuff. So,
Yeah,
my original idea was to do a Motorhead song, but the band overall said, why don't we do something different? So on back in the day, we used to play the B-52's Planet Claire, so we included that as a bonus track, as a fun track for the vinyl. On this record, we kind of stayed with that format, and picking a song, getting everybody to agree on a song is not the easiest process. Um, but Rob Alaniz, our drummer, suggested Killing Joke, and of course, they have Metallica's covered them, and they have a lot of big catalog. So we heard the Death and Resurrection show, and it had a kind of a Evil Dead vibe to it. Had a little overtones of some like industrial as well, kind of feel. So we just felt that, hey man, that's a pretty pounding riff, pretty much pounding, and it just felt like it would be in Phil's vocal style, and we could make it our version. We added a little guitar solo at the end, so it's not exactly like Killing Joke. And we recorded while Kevin Walker was alive, and he passed away, so we dedicated the song to him.
that's great.
And Killing Joke, yeah, it's a fun track, man.
Yeah, and they have an industrial style, a different feel than you guys do. Was that
Yeah,
kind of odd getting into that fit?
not at all.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
on
cool.
the first record, there's a song we opened the set with called FCI: The Awakening.
Mhm.
Uh, that's kind of pounding like that, but we put a harmony over it. So this one had kind of like the same kind of feel, but it was more militant like pounding.
Yeah,
So nah, to us it's rock, it's metal, it's heavy metal, it's thrash. We don't really like to categorize things. If it sounds good, it feels right, we'll play it. That's
yeah.
the most important thing for us.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Killing Joke, they're known as pioneering that
Yeah,
particular industrial thing. So
for sure.
it's cool to hear you guys to do something like that. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, we like to be a little different and do things, the Evil Dead way. It's fun.
Yeah, man, that's way cool. Um, you got 29 years between the underworld and the United States of Anarchy. That's a
Yeah.
long time. You
Yes, sir.
did a lot of things. You did Life, of course, in between there. You got Agent Steel together again. But you joined Body Count in 2014. Um, on the Bloodlust album, T says, he put the band together for Ernie C to play his guitar. Now,
Yep.
I mean, he's just, those guys are a force for Body Count. Um, Modeled the band after Sabbath, Suicidal, and Slayer. What's it like playing with Ernie C in that realm as opposed to with Albert? Because you guys are so collaborative. On the outside, I see you in Body Count, and I think it's T and C there doing their thing, and they give you a part to play, you play it, and kind of like a session. whereas it's more collaborative with Albert. Would that be correct in saying that?
It's close. I mean, um, first and foremost, how I got in Body Count was I was a fan of the band, and um, I wanted to, I was wondering what they were doing, and I helped them get a record deal. And next thing you know, they needed a guitar player. We were doing a show in Austin, Texas with Slayer. It was like a festival, and I was good friends with D-Rock, the Executioner, the guy who wore the hockey mask.
Yep.
And so I was honored when I was asked to play with him. Being
Yeah.
a fan of the first album was such an iconic record, and also the Born Dead record. So yeah, so for me, it was more like, okay, this is great. I mean, we got to play with them tour, and now I'm going on 10 years with the band.
Yep.
Um, it's a different dynamic for sure, but at the same time, they make me feel like I'm a member of the band. I've co-written with them as well. We get to play in tour, and I'm excited about it. We have a new record coming out, Merciless, that we just put out a single called Psychopath. It's slightly, Evil Dead's like my baby, Albert, Rob, Phil, and Carlos, and all the past members. But yeah, it's similar, but it's different, and I'm just happy to be involved in such iconic bands.
Yeah, man, it's great to see you in both bands because
Yeah,
I know Evil Dead's your baby, and it's where I know you from. So
right.
to see you do the body
I
count,
treat them both
it's a
100% equally, man. I'll just be straight up honest.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's where I am with everything. It wasn't so when I started doing this, I only wanted to be in one band. I'm just going to be honest with you about everything. When I started working with Abbatoir and then later Agent Steel, I didn't see myself jumping around, but that's just the way things roll sometimes. And you got to go with the flow. And I'm just grateful to be here and be able to play music.
Yeah, man, and it's great to hear your playing and your writing style in a couple different things.
Absolutely.
It's great for the fan for sure. Dan Goldsworthy. That's a name that some people will know. Glory Hammer album covers, Sepultura, Death. Um, this is a guy who does amazing artwork. He did the artwork for the record. This is the first record that the cover art wasn't done by Ed Repka. Tell me about the reason you switched from Ed. Ed with you for a long, long time. In that
Yeah.
29 years later, he does the next record. So
Yeah. I mean,
why
three
not this
albums.
record?
Yeah, he did three albums with us, Annihilation Underworld and the Anarchy record. We wanted to do something a little different. It's just that simple. I'm a big fan of Ed Repka's work, obviously. And so is Dan Goldsworthy, believe it or not.
Sure.
Annihilation was one of his favorite album covers. So we just I mean, I love art. And I've been keeping up with Dan's work, and I notice the similar styles, kind of, but he has a totally different color and a different style as well. And we just wanted to try something different, and I was really impressed with his work, and we just thought let's give him a shot and let's go for it because I mean he's obviously great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you got to mix things up a little.
Yeah, man. And you got the vinyl there, right? Let's
Got the
see it.
vinyl, right? He just
Yeah.
got it, bro.
Uh,
I mean, there you go. I mean, it might be a little glary because
Yeah,
of
no, that's perfect, man. Look at that.
yeah. I
How
should take the
cool is that?
plastic off, and here I'll
Man,
take the record out.
oh,
There's
look at that.
yeah,
Artwork on the label.
and then I'll
That's
flip it
beautiful, man.
over, and
Look at
there it
that.
is. Now side A, side B, and this one
Man,
has all the tracks. This has got the bonus track, the Death and Resurrection show
yep,
on it,
man.
and yeah, I'm excited. I just played it, and it's a pretty killer record for sure. It makes me want to play it again. That's how some records you play and then you just burned out.
Yeah, yeah.
This one I
Or
was
a lot of them, and I get this with a lot of thrash, and I love thrash. But a lot of thrash records are, they're one speed. They level off. By the sixth song, you've kind of heard it. You know what I mean? This isn't like that. This
no.
No, there are peaks and valleys, and this really moves. It's got a really great groove to it. It's really a great piece of art.
Yeah, thank you.
This
Yeah.
record,
I
for
think it
sure.
starts strong and it ends strong, and there's a lot of peaks and valley all through the ride.
Yep.
I'm very proud of it,
Yeah,
and
man. And it
proud of
plays.
everybody's contribution to this album.
Yeah, man. It plays like an old school record.
Yeah.
It's a journey. You drop the needle on it, and it takes you somewhere. Really cool. Really cool. Speaking of taking you somewhere, what's touring look like for you with Evil Dead?
August 16th, Terragram Ballroom, here in Los Angeles. We're doing a show with Whiplash, their 40-year anniversary of Power and Pain, and it's going to be our record release party. So we're going to have a lot of merch, vinyls, and digipacks for the show, and we're very excited about it. That's the first one right off the bat. And we're doing the California Death Fest Volume 7 up in Oakland with Sodom, Sacrifice, and there's other things cooking that I can't really talk about yet, but we're also looking to tour Europe in 2025.
Oh man, that's just great. And I know Europe loves what you do, man. I see, South America too, of course.
Yeah, no, that we need to get down there too, man. It's down to South America.
It's just they embrace this kind of music, and I wish the U.S. was a little more like that.
You know, we have
We have our pockets here, but
we do have pockets here. There's a really great festival in Houston that I just went to, and it's called Hell's Heroes in Houston, Texas, and that has a very European vibe to it.
cool.
And there's other ones too, Blades of Steel in the Midwest, and the one that just happened this past weekend, Milwaukee Metal Fest. We got to give
Yeah,
props to Josta for bringing that back.
yeah,
I saw Dark Angel there last year with Biohazard and Violence. It's a great show. It's a great festival.
yeah. No doubt, no
We
doubt.
do have our pockets.
We do. We definitely do. But it is good to see that you guys are going to get over to Europe and do your
Yeah,
thing, man. That's cool. And I hope you do the tour around the U.S. That would be great, man.
we need to get to the East Coast too.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's way cool. I just love having you out there, man. Love hearing your
for
music.
sure, man.
Yeah, comes out this Friday.
This Friday,
You know,
May 24th.
Man, oh man, Toxic Grace, the new record from Evil Dead. Juan, it's been great, man. Let's do this again.
Yeah, let's keep in touch
Yeah,
well let's talk about it some more. Absolutely.
yeah. All right, man. Be
Thanks.
well.
Peace, bro.
I'll see you on the road.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.